Hello folks, so tonight I'm going to be tying it's a wee traditional fly. It's a Silver Invicta, and this is on a size 10. Um, I prefer the Silver Invicta over the original yellow. The original yellow was tied for a sedge imitation, but I like this silver because you could fish it as a sedge, but it's also a great pin fry pattern. So I'm going to start with a size 10 heavyweight wet fly hook in the vise, and I've got some 8/0 brown thread. Just going to start at the eye and work my way down the hook. Keep this tag end on, and we'll stop when we get just in front of the barb. Now, you can tie this wee fly with a yellow butt, just a wee bit of lemon tinsel, or you could use glow bright. I don't particularly like it with it. I prefer it. I think the yellow tail's enough. So there's a golden pheasant crest feather, and we want this just around the length of the hook. So just measure it up, grab it in your other finger and thumb, and just offer it up. Now you'll notice there's a twist that's come into this, but it's not on our tail. So you want to, if there's a twist in your feather, try and encourage it to go into the waist end. Snip that off the length of the body. So we're going to come in with some silver wire now. This is 0.2 millimeter. It's silver. I want to catch this in on the underside of the hook. And again, we want this the full length of the body. Well, my thread's well waxed there. There's no rush. We're just going to take the thread up slowly. And every now and again, just checking where our materials are sitting. Because there's going to be a tinsel going over the top of this. And we want the body to be as smooth as possible. So I cut those a wee bit short, but a few extra thread turns will fix that. So this is Uni Mylar, and this is number 12, and this is the gold and silver. I want to see the silver side, so I'm going to tie it with the gold side facing me. We're just going to catch that in. You want your thread well waxed for this. So just a few turns back. We're going to start working down the hook. I prefer to work my way down the hook and then back up again, rather than tying this in at the back of the fly and just doing one pass up. I think you get a far nicer body when you go down and then come back up. So that turn we want just right on the tail. And then we're working our way back up. We're just going to catch that in, a couple of turns of thread, and then we'll lock it down. Couple of turns of thread, and we're going to wind that forward. Snip that off. We're going to get ourselves a red game saddle hackle here. So I like these saddles because this is quite a short one, but the fibers on this are quite soft, but they're a whole lot stiffer than a hen. So it's just a nice hackle for your wet flies. Just find that stalk again. We'll fold it back just to make sure this can't move on us. Well, that stalk's short enough that I don't need to cut it off. It's tiny. We catch this with our hackle pliers. I'm going to do 2 turns before working my way down the body. I'm going to go for 3, maybe 4 turns down the body. Just whatever you think. And as I'm coming up for that 4th turn, I'm going to follow it up with this wire. Lean my bobbin or my hackle pliers on the vise over here. That's where to work this wire up. Don't worry about trapping hackle fibers. You can sort that out. Sometimes the faster you go up the body, the less fibers you'll trap. So I'm going to do a few turns over the top, fold that down. And we can bring our wire up to the head. The reason why I bring the wire to the head is because for my wing and my blue jay, I had like a nice smooth base here to be tying on. I don't want a big step in it. You should be able to just snap that off. So we're going to come in now with our blue jay. And I had a message asking, could I show how I tie my blue jay in? There's really, this is my blue jay feather here. There's really nothing special to it. So I'm going to pull the fibers 90 degrees from the stem. Turn the feather around so you can see. And that should line the tips up. And just pick yourself how much you want for your throat and just rip it away. Now, if you've got a rotary vise, you just flip the vise up. I want my blue jay to be just about touching the point of the hook. So I'm going to offer it up, see where I am, grab it with my other finger and thumb, and do a turn over, quite a tight turn. A few more to lock it in. See where we're looking. I'm happy with that. And we're going to come in and snip that off. So you want a good pointy pair of scissors. And when you're cutting anything on the underside of the hook, just put your finger in here and push the bobbin out of the way. Your first cut is always the best cut. So once that's tied in, we're going to come on now with some wax. Just give our thread a bit of wax. We're going to tidy them cut ends up. I like a good chunky throat on these wee flies. You can see there. So now we're onto the wing. So you're going to want some hen pheasant quills, and you need a right and a left. For my wet flies, get yourself a hook. And I'm not sure who I learned this from, but if you come in on your feathers, the gape of your hook is a good gauge of how much you need for your fly. So hard to do on camera here, but if I line that up there, that's how much I would need for a wing. So just put all that back together, hold up my finger and thumb and rip it off. Sometimes the odd wee fiber comes off, but just tidy that up. And on the other one, do the same thing. So I'm no expert on setting wings on, but I'm going to line the tips up. Set it up to the top of the hook. Now, try and fold our fingers around. No, not playing ball. So I like my wings quite long, but that one's folded on me. So try that again. So just come in. We're going to do a pinch and loop. Pull down. pinch and loop, pull down. So I'm happy with that wee wing there. It is only a wet fly, so once you start fishing that, it's not gonna last too long. So now that we've got our wing in, I'm gonna get some wax on the thread again. Bring the thread down to the eye, hold on to my wing, and we'll start working the thread back up into the cut ends and just tidying up and building our head. And I prefer to be working from the eye back. Park my thread here. And then I'll get my whip finish. I'm going to try to whip finish coming back down towards the eye. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Snip that off. There's a few wee stray fibers there. Just going to come in, snip them off. Now you see that wing's sitting quite high. So let's give it a wee push down. Sweep it all back with our fingers. Right. For a wet fly, that's not too bad. So we've got some UV resin here. I'm just going to finish the head of the fly quickly. So just put a touch on a wee post-it note in front of me. Come in with my needle. So you don't want a whole lot. Just working our way around, trying to keep it out of the blue jay, keeping it away from our wing. And then we're going to set that with the torch. And this is a great wee fly on the loughs whenever the fish are feeding on perch fry. You'd want that on your middle dropper or on the point. And very, very good fly coming towards the end of summer. So hopefully that helped a few people out. And thank you for watching.